I think what I believe, and I'm not talking about the figures in my account or in my family's account. I believe I'm rich by heart, so that my richness and my abundance is something that I can create every day by waking up and saying thank you to God. So that is the first step I always take before I call myself a trillionaire, you know? Hello, thank you for having me, Top Investor. My name is Adrea Luminari. I grew up in Africa, although my origins are from Italy. It all started when my father ventured in Africa during the 80s, having traveled different countries of Africa for, let's just say, agricultural work and development. Growing up in Africa to me has been the biggest blessing, because I am a strong believer that the future is in Africa. And just like most Pan-Africans would say, is that we have so much culture and tradition and stuff we can benefit from Africa, even from a business point of view to a, let's just say, humanity point of view. There is so much we can gain from Africa. It's been a blessing for me growing up in Africa, because I got to see both the good and the bad things that happen in developing countries. There's no doubt that every investment has its risks, and that's what I'm going to talk about today, is about my personal journey as an investor in Kenya. Has been probably the greatest part of it all has been the ups and downs and the risks I have taken in order to build up my, let's just say, what I call my little empire, which is starting up slowly but steadily, and God willing will continue to grow. So far I have had different ventures that I have indulged in. The first one being agriculture. So I've been looking at agro-entrepreneurship, finding gaps on development, on how to develop land and bring it to market value by adding electricity, security and other, let's just say, strategic plans to introduce more surplus or introduce more, let's just say, agricultural products from the land.
So tell us about your journey as a criminologist.
Yes,
Criminologist.
yes, that's fine. Yeah, I actually studied in different parts of the world. I got the opportunity to start my journey as a personal trainer, but that evolved into a passion for, let's just say, understanding better the root causes, but most of all, the influence of crime on society. As a youth growing up in a developing country, I found myself in a lot of situations where I would say there was some injustices done to people around me, and these injustices stemmed from criminal activity or other forms of, let's just say, wrongful behavior. And this brought my curiosity on how to solve the problem of crime, which is unsolvable, obviously. But I grew up basically trying to understand better why people indulge in crimes, watching many movies, TV series, and also being an action kid myself, practicing martial arts and shooting guns, growing up knowing how to shoot because of my influence, growing up partially in the United States of America.
So like, did you do it for business, or did you like for your personal gain?
I initially started it as something to give me more knowledge about, let's just say, the reasons to crime. But as I got into it, I came across security, which is a very beautiful, let's just say, part of criminology, where someone could also use that to their advantage as an entrepreneur, right? So as an investor, there's no doubt that there's a lot of opportunity in security. As we know, Kenya has a lot of private firms in security as well, because the security in Kenya has been very much improved over time. But as you know, we had some problems in the past with terrorism, and let's just say the anti-terrorism and international security collide together to help us, let's just say, become more efficient at breaching the gaps where that give the occasion or the opportunity for criminals to, let's just say, to thrive in the system. But what's more interesting is that I did my bachelor's here in Kenya. So I studied criminal law in the Kenyan context and of course the American context, based on the curriculum that I was doing, which was American. But of course, a lot of influence stemmed from the Kenyan criminal justice system, where I studied wrongful conviction, which is another cause of a lot of societal problems within the system. When you find that people don't have legal representation, okay, they don't have the funds, let's just say, to be represented, and this becomes a legal issue when you find that a petty criminal is criminalized, let's just say, his actions are criminalized based on maybe the root cause being hunger, being someone hungry, stealing something out of hunger.
So,
Yeah.
are you like a bounty hunter, or is criminology and
I would say that more into the investigative part of criminology. As you know, criminology is very broad as it tries to elaborate on crime, its theories. Um, it goes from a micro to a macro level, so it's very broad. So in my instance, what I can say about bounty hunting is that in some states in the US, bounty hunting is something that's well used. In Kenya, we use more private investigators to bring forth evidence to the court. Of course, apart from using the police, which are the main unit, let's say the governmental force behind investigations, we also use privates like me to initiate an investigation. Yes, yes, absolutely. Can collide, or yes, absolutely. There is no doubt that perhaps, in my view, when you look at it from a security perspective, there's a lot of intelligence involved, and it can collide with business because investors can invest on different spheres or parts of security. For example, I may give you some examples, like when you look at VIP protection, it's an industry that can be explored in this country. So putting up a firm that deals with VIPs and their security. As you know, our ministers, our, let's just say, our government have a lot of private security and intelligence as well. So they don't just rely on the government, but also on private firms who can provide this intelligence, who can provide this security, and can provide some techniques to safeguard, let's just say, the interest of the politicians or the interest of the people who are employing these companies. So security can be mixed with, let's just say, the entrepreneurial part, which is being able to maybe organize events under some security stringent regulations, so scanning, checking. When it comes to road accidents, we know about Nyumba Kumi, for example. Although it has stakeholders, Nyumba Kumi is an example of a force which takes on private civilians as well into let's just say into consideration, where they can share, let's just say, communication and intelligence with the police, and most of all build better relations with the police, so that, let's just say, there is no stigmatization towards the police, where the people don't go to the police because of fear that the police will do them wrong.
Okay, Andrea.
Yes.
So, how do you make millions out of the investment that you make?
Oh,
Talk to us about the
yes.
business side of it.
I would like to do that. So I a bit elaborated on the technical part of it.
Yes.
But now I'll dive into the entrepreneurial process behind it. So excluding security, which is also a very important aspect of development, as you know, any place that is developing needs security as one of the fundamental pillars, because without security you cannot do any of that. So how do you combine and safeguard your interest while using the right strategies as an entrepreneur? So for me, I found it reasonable to venture in the bundus, as they call it, or to venture in the village. We shall go, right? I found that very profitable when you make ties with the community, you collide with them, you come to find what are the pros and cons of that community in terms of how can you improve the community, what is not working, is there some kind of maybe too much traditional farming going on, how can we improve it by let's just say bringing development to the farm. So as an entrepreneur, what I did was I bought land, okay, and
Did that cost you a lot?
no, that's why I told you I went back to the village, right? Yeah, I mean, as you know, back in the days land was very cheap in Kenya, and people who invested around Nairobi region found themselves multiplying the value of land, you know, just by sitting, not by doing much, but letting time take its course. But what I found very interesting is that because it has removed opportunity for many entrepreneurs to invest in Nairobi because of the, let's just say, the big money that's involved with the investments. What I found very interesting is that what young entrepreneurs can do is they can go back to their homeland or the bundus and actually invest on some land, develop the land. Perhaps they would like to weigh the pros and cons, as I told you, in terms of is it agricultural land, is it better for agrotourism. So I found myself, talking about me now on my own, I found myself venturing in different parts of the country, from Kisumu, Bondo, all the way to Nyahururu, Nyandarua. I'm talking about a place known as Olbolosat. Yeah, and I saw opportunity there because there's a lot of opportunity simply because the country is developing, roads are being made every day, and this will increase value of land.
So,
Yes,
what exactly
yes,
do?
yes. So my initial plan was to venture in the fish industry, so to do aquaculture. Although that was one of the hardships I had with accountability, as you know that. So that struggle taught me actually to work for myself rather than being in a committee or having too many shareholders, which you cannot trust, right? So that is one of the risks and the other side of the coin. But the advantage that I found in investing in land, for example, is what I did was that I started by creating security for the land. It was just a plain field of land. We started by fencing, putting up, let's just say, trees. Yes. You could do that, or you could find, let's just say, some kind of agro entrepreneurial. Yeah, I mean, if you can, for example, if you have a piece of land, you can use that to make ponds, right? Depending on the type of soil, there are many factors that have to be considered, but not diving into that. Land can be converted into any type of enterprise, right? So it can be a hotel one day, or it could be a farm producing, I don't know, let's say lots of wheat. Yes. My journey didn't, as they say, not the grass ain't always greener on the other side, or not everything is a bed of roses, or whatever you want, however you want to put it. It started off bad for me, I'll be very honest. It started off with the hustle of being conned or being scammed, trying to, let's just say, find a team of people that I could trust. But as that went on, I found people that I could trust based on the relationships I made, the bonding that I made. And my first million actually came out, it came out with real estate. So being able to invest on apartments and renting out the apartments at a fee. So every month not having to run after any business, but money coming to you.
So,
Yeah.
how much are you worth?
I think what I believe, and I'm not talking about the figures in my account or in my family's account. I believe I'm rich by heart, so that my richness and my abundance is something that I can create every day by waking up and saying thank you to God. So that is the first step I always take before I call myself a trillionaire, you know?
Is that how criminologists work?
Ah.
Getting the real figures, which is okay.
I mean, there is some type of privacy to it, as you know, but I can say that blessings and abundance come with gratitude, okay? If you do not enjoy what you do, if you do not say thank you for what you have, you will never get more. Thank you very much.
Talk to the young guys.
Yes, absolutely.
I can look at this camera that is on there.
Yeah. Okay, first of all, guys, money is not the root of evil. Let's begin there. Money is a tool. It's a tool that can be used in the right way or the wrong way. We know it. We have a lot of evidence of that money can be used the right way or the wrong way. So my advice on money management is that when you're given the opportunity, let's just say, to have some cash flow, don't use it the wrong way. I know it's very tempting for the youth to use money the wrong way, maybe to party, or maybe to, let's just say, live a very quick and fast-burning, lavish life, which does not return any money in return. So my biggest advice would be how you invest money. There's no doubt that you can have a lot of money and lose it all at once, or you could invest it in many different cash, let's just say, streams of income, where some will die off, no doubt, but some will grow stronger and stronger by the day. And the more incomes or the more cash flow you have will be based on the more streams of income that you're able to build for yourself. So be very, let's just say, be very humble with the money, but at the same time try to find as many opportunities as you can. Don't stick to only one. They say that, you know, many cooks spoil the brew, or something like, you know, they say that, let's just say, they say that money, you know, if you put your focus on too many things, you won't get them done. But as an entrepreneur, you want to set your money very logically into different streams of income, so that when one dies off, you have another one. When this one comes in, the other one comes in. And when you have multiple sources of cash flow, then you find that you're going to build yourself and give you more opportunity for money to make its money. Let's just say that. And that's what we want. We want money to make its money, its own money, so that, you know, you don't have to literally, and this is the last advice I'll give you, is that, you know, you can work so hard, but if you don't work smart, then it's not gonna benefit you. As you know, sorry to give these figures out, but as you know, a laborer could work the whole day for, let's just say, cash $5, and he's worked, pardon my English, his ass off, literally, he's worked his ass off, lifting heavy things, throwing around stuff, you know, going home full of sweat, going for a shower with his $5. Not saying that he's not important, because he's the most important part of the chain. But what is he doing? What else can he do with those $5 apart from continuing his labor? He could start accumulating those $5 one by one, and finding smart solutions or reasonable ways to double the money, or to triple it even, let's just say. So there's a lot of opportunity for the youth in Africa, and I believe that Africa is for the youth, and that there are going to be major changes even in ideology, in norms and values being evolved, norms and values being changed by our new generation. As you see, there are many upcoming things, new thoughts of knowledge coming from the African youth. There's no doubt that the African youth are really doing well at what they're doing. So I'm very happy that you invited me over so I could share a bit about my background in security, but also in entrepreneurship, which are combined, I would say.
Thank you so much.
Thank you too. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Promise me one thing.
Yeah, please tell me.
You're not going to tell my face.
To anyone?
Yes?
Okay, you do the same, okay? Even though you got me on camera.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Thank you.
Alright.
Thank you.